Hi, Professor Booth. My name is Andrea Robinson, and I'm going to use videos as my final project to explain the WindUp Girl. I'm going to be answering the questions: what seems strange, strangely real, bizarre, and threatening about the book. So I want to get started with bizarre. Bizarre to me is the entire concept of the WindUp Girl. The WindUp Girl new people, as they're called in the book, are created to be subservient to humanity. They're programmed to follow rules and the wills of their master. And I just find that bizarre because the book is based on the future, and the book is fairly new. It's published in 2009, so the author should understand the progressive movement that society as a whole has been taking to move away from the hierarchical culture and the thinking that, there's a people that are better off than another people, or a culture that's one culture is better than another culture. And just thinking that of all the devastation that's happened because one society thought that they were better off than another society. There's, the Native American and African American slavery, there's internment camps, there's the Holocaust, there's apartheid, there's genocide, and just to name a few. The fact that in the future the author thinks that we will revert back to that culture is kind of strange to me, especially after so many laws and so many prosecutions have taken place to prevent that divide from happening again. So I do feel as though that's bizarre, and that just struck me because I'm not a history buff, but just thinking historically that we would backtrack, that's bizarre to me. Threatening. So I feel like the WindUp Girl brings to light so many ideas that are happening now that we as society aren't really fazed about, and we should be as people. There's global warming, number one, which we know is an imminent danger, but there isn't that big of a push to try to resolve things. Granted, the news makes and scientists make us aware that the ocean levels are rising, and there's a big hole in the ozone layer, but realizing that we as people, we can't reverse the hole that we have in the ozone layer, but we need to reduce our carbon fingerprint and lower emissions and things like that. And I feel like there are laws and protections being put in place to remedy this situation, but the WindUp Girl poses the idea of living in it, because to be completely honest, we don't know when I say we, I mean society and scientists and the most well-known professionals can't determine what's going to happen because of global warming. But we could lose continents. We could be devastated tomorrow. We're not sure. Who's to say that this hole is so big that it causes shifts in plate tectonics and things like that. It really does open the eye to what is to come. And I do feel as though that's a threat that we need to be thinking about. What do we need to be doing to move away from, damaging our earth? Because we do want it to still be here, don't want it to die off. But that's global warming. There's also fossil fuel depletion, and that is happening more rapidly than we think. And again, in Thailand, there is no fossil fuel. So we need to start thinking about a society where we can't go to the gas station and where there is no natural gas and things of that. And I feel as though there are things being done. I know that there are alternatives being thought up, like hybrid cars and things like that. But we need to start thinking about that, because it may be tomorrow that fossil fuel is depleted, and how we're going to heat our homes and how we're going to drive around in our cars. Just thinking about that. Reading the book, I did think that the Kinks energy was a good idea. I do think that, we could wind up springs to use the potential energy as, energy for our use. I don't think that we should genetically modify elephants to turn these kinks, but I do feel like it's a good idea, and we could get working on that. There's also genetically modified food. So right now, genetically modified food isn't like our present, what word am I looking for? We're not heavily reliant on that. So, I mean, even though I do love seedless oranges, I do think thank you, genetically modified foods, for those. But I do feel as though we need to consider the fact that though they're genetically modified, no person genetically modifying them is perfect. So there's still flaws, and there's still the idea that these crops could die off and, get some type of disease that could cause them to die off. So, we do need to think about our dependence on them and our reliance on them as well. And granted, I don't ever think that it'll get to the point where these seeds are being stored and they're being rationed out. I don't ever think that'll happen, just because in the society we live in, it's, first of all, it's not run by a queen. Well, at least not in the U.S. But I just don't see it happening, because I don't know why I don't see it, to be completely honest. I just think that that's a gross exaggeration. But I do think that the WindUp Girl poses just brings to light these different things that we should be concerned about, because we do it's not like we don't live in the time where these things aren't present. They are present, and if we would like the earth to continue, we need to start thinking about alternatives to fossil fuel, and we need to start thinking about these genetically modified foods that are beginning to come about, and we need to start thinking about global warming, because these all are going to affect us. So I do feel as though they're threatening and strangely real. Yes, I meshed the two together. So this is my response to your question. I thank you for the course. I do feel as though it was very eye-opening. I learned a lot about the technologically advanced life that I honestly wouldn't have given a chance, the whole cyberpunk genre, just because I never was really interested in that. But I can say that it's made me think a lot, and I thank you for that. And you enjoy the rest of your term and summer. And thanks again. All right, bye.